this planet unless in someone's basement, unless you're doing it. There's a lot of good software on those shelves over there. Squid Maker, I see it right there. Yeah, that was one of those things. You just see it in the movie. And feel free to blog about it once you see it. It's funny because, you know, it was one of those things. I mean, look, the squid, I'm a fan of the squid and graphic novel, I actually am. But we talked about it a lot, like, you know, look, it's like Lovecraftian monster. Yeah, it's cool. I think it's cool. But on the other hand, I was like, okay, how much Rorschach am I going to lose for this fucking squid? And that was kind of, that's really what drove it, you know. It's like 15 minutes of Mars. Or, you know, I happen to like the guy. The guy's better than the squid. That's what it came down to. Like I said, you know, I always feel like also, we didn't do anything that replaces, like I don't feel like, I think on one hand, if you've read the book, the movie feels cool because you're like, oh my god, that's the book. If you haven't read the book, and you see the movie, you're like, man, I wonder what else is in that damn book. Hopefully that's how it works, you know, and those people go, because I always say like, look, if I made a 2.5-hour ad for the book and I did my job, I'm done. I feel fine.
We at DC thank you for that. But to that point, in terms of effects, you know, and assuming that all of these fine people go and see the movie on March 6, 2009, and love it so much they want to buy the DVD, are there going to be, you know, probably be some scenes on the DVD that may or may not be in the movie. And the effects that are in those scenes, will those be fully rendered?
Yeah, that was one of the cool things that the studio did was the movie is 2 hours and 37 minutes long. The director's cut is 3 hours and 10 minutes long, the titles, right? Something like that? Yeah, so it's a bit different. And it's just everything. And then, like, you know, the Black Freighter is what? 3 hours and 25 minutes. So, I mean, you know, if you really want to lose your brain, you can. And you know, the studio let us finish the effects, like, you know, so you can't tell the difference between, you know, it's not like, oh, look, okay, cut to the cheap effects. Previs, which they could have done. I mean, it's not cheap. Yeah, Billy, it's really cool. They'll cut to Billy in the suit, and you're like, oh, okay.
Who has the suit or suits?
Yeah, who knows? I don't know where they are.
eBay.
Yeah. You can make one.
Yeah.
In the white.
Along those lines, how does the studio react? Like, you want to say, I want to make the owl ship, or like, do they kind of have some pushback based on like wanting to show all of Dr. Manhattan and like the race scene and things like that? And who has the owl ship?
The owl ship's in a warehouse, I think, somewhere in like Culver City. Somewhere like that. I don't know. It's around. It's rolling around. It exists. Flying around. It looks like a campfire. I mean, yeah. Oh, to be at the Beverly Hilton tomorrow, Park Ballet at the Beverly Hilton. Oh no, it really is at the Bell. Sorry, I thought it was a joke. Feels like a joke. Nah, that's funny. Yeah, Dan and Laura. All right, but yeah, I mean, look, when I said I wanted to be like real, like the book, exactly like the book, I don't think they thought I meant exactly like the book, you know. You're gonna not show all of that, are you? I mean, that's how they reacted, but, you know, I just think, you know, it goes back to the why Watchmen is Watchmen, like, it's rated R, you know, it's not, it deals with a lot of, like, intense issues, and it's not about, you know, the idea that Watchmen is a superhero movie. I always said, I go, guys, if I cut out all the story or all the like character, it's a really bad superhero movie. You know, like they don't do a lot of fucking superhero shit. So like, you know, they're not like, you know, raping each other or like walking around naked. Nothing's happening. So I think that you know, and to their, you know, to their strength, they said, okay, you know, you're right. I mean, they easily could have made me go back and reshoot. Well, I don't know what I would have done. because there's no. You realize that that's in the DNA of the book. Is all of that stuff, you know. The funeral, Manhattan on Mars, Rorschach's interrogation, all that stuff. That's the movie. You know, there happens to be that also there's a little story that goes along with it. But really the movie is that experience, the character experience. I think so. I mean, it's a crazy movie. I mean, I mean, in a great way. I think it's really. I mean, it's like the book. I mean, all those issues they're hard. It's hard stuff. But I mean, I hope anyway that people are ready. Even people who haven't read the book are ready to sort of see. You know, not Spider-Man. You know, something else.
I have a question actually for the audience. For those of you, who have friends who haven't read Watchmen, do they seem excited to see the movie?
Yeah.
More excited than that answer. Okay. Yes, sir. Over there. I guess the question is a little bit of a comparison between 300 and how you shot this, where 300 had.
Yeah, that's not really the way we like to shoot. Is that basically in the case of, I can make a semi-comparison to 300 by saying, for instance, if we were shooting a scene like we were shooting the riots, for instance, in the movie there's a scene where there's riots in New York City. Now, we built a bunch of New York City, but not all of it. And we had a lot of rioters, but not all of them, right? And so, basically the way it works is I draw a drawing, and I say, okay, this is the shot that I want to make. And in comparison to 300, say it's Leonidas running like and fighting, and they're like, okay, he's going to run like this, and we're going to film him like that. The thing is, like, the leap is, I have to say, like, okay, from this angle, there would be like 40 more guys going off behind him that aren't there. So and I'm like, that's what I want to see, right? And this is where I want to see it from right here. So it's not, especially, I think these two movies, and Watchmen even more than 300, 300, we used multiple cameras, but not very often. And then when we started to use multiple cameras, I would operate one of the cameras, so pretty much the hero angle would be mine. So then, in that case, I didn't have to tell anyone what I was shooting, because they would be like, I just shot that, I hope that works. But in the case of Watchmen, because it's pretty much a one-camera show, there's only the one camera, you know, it's pretty meticulous. Finding the shot is a pretty meticulous process.
And I know
I'm meticulous. When I say meticulous, I mean, and for instance, now when we talk about Mars, you know, we have basically a set that looks like about a 20 by 20 foot, or 40 by 40 foot square of red ground that looks like Mars, and the actors are standing there, so it's not Mars at all. And if we want to, like, if I say, okay, I want to film a shot of them standing in front of the glass palace, which is going to be behind them, you know, we say, okay, if you put the camera low, there's no glass palace there, right? There's no nothing. But you just have to be able to know in your brain that the camera's low and sort of, if they're standing here, and you kind of imagine the glass palace is going to be, you know, a couple hundred feet tall, you get a rough angle. We can, like, they can, what do you call it? Inclinometer. You put an inclinometer on the camera, and it sort of shows, oh, okay, that's 45 degrees. And then they say, well, we're designed for glass palace to be 200 feet tall at a 45-degree angle. If you do exactly 6 feet away, that means you're not going to see the top of it.